So, let's talk about generative AI. It's way past being just a buzzword, right? For pretty much everyone, developers, business leaders, the big question has totally shifted. It's not, what is this stuff anymore? Now it's, okay, how do I actually use it? And the best part? There's a real roadmap now. So, over the next few minutes, we're going to walk that path together, taking it from just an idea all the way to a real world AI app that actually makes an impact. So does any of this hit home? Are you feeling like you're drowning in manual work? Or maybe you're struggling to make those customer experiences feel personal. Or maybe you're just looking at this whole AI thing and wondering, where do I even begin? Look, if that sounds familiar, you're not alone. These are the exact problems that are making companies say, okay, enough talking, it's time to build. And the great news is there are clear blueprints to help you do just that. Okay, let's make this real. Think about retail. Picture this. You're in charge of an e-commerce site, and you've got thousands, literally thousands of products that need unique, SEO-friendly descriptions. I mean, the amount of manual work is just insane. But with generative AI, you can completely automate that. It can take a list of product features and spin up compelling descriptions in, well, seconds. Or, hey, how about healthcare? This one's a big deal. Discovering a new drug usually takes years, right? A decade even. Well, now you've got AI models that can design and test thousands of new protein sequences, potentially finding new life-saving medicines in just a tiny fraction of that time. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. This is happening today. And then there's finance. Imagine being an underwriter, buried under a mountain of complex loan documents. Now imagine getting an AI-powered summary of the risks in just minutes instead of hours. So you see the pattern here, right? Retail, healthcare, finance, it doesn't matter the industry. The story is the same. Huge jumps in productivity and a total rewrite of what we thought was possible. Okay, so what's the engine driving all of this incredible change? Well, under the hood of every single one of these apps, you'll find these super powerful foundation models. And to really get a feel for what they can do, let's pop the hood and look at one of the most advanced engines out there right now, Google's Gemini. I mean, look at this timeline. The speed of innovation is just mind-blowing. Seriously, in less than 2 years, we see Gemini go from its very first multimodal model to 1.5 Pro, which introduced this absolutely game-changing context window. Then it gets agentic capabilities, which basically means it can start doing things for you. And now it's running on totally new architectures. We're not talking about slow, steady improvement here. These are massive exponential leaps forward, one after another. So I mentioned that massive context window in Gemini 1.5 Pro. What does that actually mean? It means this number, 1 million tokens. Just think of that as the AI's short-term memory. But here's what it lets the AI do. It can basically read an entire 700,000 word book or listen to 11 hours of audio all at once. And then it can answer detailed questions about anything in there. That's the kind of scale we're dealing with now. It's wild. And a huge piece of the puzzle here, what makes Gemini so powerful is that it's multimodal. This is a really important idea to grasp. All it means is that the AI isn't stuck just with text. It can understand and think about text, images, code, audio, and video all at the same time, all mixed together. This is what lets it solve messy, complex problems from the real world. Okay, so we've got this incredibly powerful engine, right? But a great engine by itself is, well, it's just a lump of metal. It's useless without a car built around it. You need the chassis, the wheels, a steering wheel. You need a plan. You need a roadmap. And that's exactly where we're going next. We're going to look at the actual, structured, repeatable life cycle for building a Gen AI project, from that first spark of an idea all the way to a finished product. And here it is. This is the playbook, the official Gen AI application lifecycle. It's a clear 5-step path to get you from point A to point Z. First step is discovery. That's all about figuring out the right problem to solve in the first place. Then you move into development and experimentation, which is where you play with prompts and different models. After that, you deploy it into the real world. But you're not done. You have to monitor it to see how it's doing. And then you enter this constant cycle of continuous improvement, using feedback to make it better and better. The big idea here? This whole process takes AI development out of the let's just try stuff and see what happens phase and turns it into a real, predictable engineering discipline. Now, the professional discipline that holds this whole thing together is called MLOps. That's short for machine learning operations. And if you've ever heard of DevOps in the software world, it's pretty much the exact same idea, but for AI.
It's the whole set of practices that make sure building, deploying, and maintaining these AI systems is something you can do reliably and efficiently over and over again at scale.
Okay, this is a really important point. Building a generative AI app is not quite the same as building a traditional predictive AI model. With predictive AI, you're usually focused on cleaning up structured data and training a model in isolation. But with generative AI, it's more like you're an orchestra conductor. You're experimenting with a whole chain of components working together. And get this, sometimes the biggest breakthrough you'll have doesn't come from weeks of retraining a model. It comes from just tweaking the words in your prompt. It's a totally different way of thinking.
All right, so we've seen the engine, Gemini, and we've seen the roadmap, the life cycle. Now it's time to put it all together. Let's see what this blueprint looks like in action with a real-world example. We're going to build an AI sales assistant for an e-commerce website.
So here's the problem we're trying to solve. A customer lands on your website and they have a complex question. Something like, I'm looking for a bike that's good for commuting but can also handle light trails on the weekend. A simple search bar is just going to choke on that. It doesn't get the nuance. And that little moment of friction, it leads to frustration, abandoned carts, and lost sales. That's the pain point. So what's our tech stack look like? What are the ingredients we need to build this? It really comes down to 3 key pieces. First, you need your data, right? In this case, our entire product catalog is sitting in BigQuery. Second, you need the AI brain. That's going to be Vertex AI, which is the platform where we get access to models like Gemini. And finally, you need a place to actually run your app. For that, we'll use Cloud Run, which is awesome because you can just deploy your code and not have to think about servers at all. Okay, so here's how it all connects. It's a simple 3-step flow. Step 1, index. We take our entire product catalog from BigQuery and basically feed it to the AI so it knows everything we sell inside and out. Step 2, understand. A customer types in a question. The system is smart enough to figure out what they really mean, their intent, and pull up the most relevant products. And step 3, generate. This is the magic part. That product info gets handed off to Gemini, which doesn't just spit out a list of links. It crafts a helpful conversational response that actually guides the customer, just like a great human sales assistant would.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. We've looked at the engine, the roadmap, and a real-world blueprint in action. What does this all add up to? What's the big picture here? Well, we're finally moving past the hype. We're witnessing a really fundamental shift where building AI is moving away from being a kind of art form and becoming a true, honest-to-goodness engineering discipline.
And this quote from Richard Seroter at Google Cloud really hits the nail on the head. It brings us right back to our starting point. For so long, we were all inspired. We saw the potential. We said, wow, but there wasn't a clear answer to the question, but where do I start? That's the part that has fundamentally changed. So if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. Building with generative AI isn't a dark art anymore. It's not some mystical thing only a few wizards can do. It's now a disciplined engineering practice. We have clear blueprints, we have defined life cycles, and that means the entire process is becoming predictable, repeatable, and, this is the most important part, accessible to so many more people. Look, the tech is here. The roadmaps are laid out for you. Honestly, the barrier to getting started has never, ever been lower. So that leaves just one question left on the table, and it's the most exciting one of all. Now that you have the roadmap, what are you going to build?